Hello lads and ladies, and welcome back for another video on the channel. Today we are back with some more Sky Bet League One content. Yes, on this channel we do all the Fleetwood vlogs, but we do all the League One stuff, the League One live on a Sunday evening, which go up as videos. We do the top 10s, we do videos on the big stories on League One. Now, back at the start of the season, I did a video of my League One unpopular opinions, some of which included Wigan would get to positive points in their first 4 to 5 games. They managed that. I also said 12 managers would leave their respective football clubs this season. We've already had 6, and we're only 16 games / 17 games into the Sky Bet League One season. We also had, opinions on certain players that have come to fruition and doing quite well. But I thought it's time to update that. Please subscribe. We're on the road to 13,000 subscribers. And I need your help. So if you could go down there, press a like, press subscribe. This is your home of Sky Bet League One content. So remember, these aren't facts. Some of them you might think are facts. These are my unpopular opinions, and I want to know yours. I'm starting off with Lincoln City. Now, as a midfield two, Ethan Erraghan and Ethan Hamilton, I think as a two, that is one of the best twos in midfield. Look, you've got midfield threes. I think, Portsmouth, Oxford's are sublime. Bolton's are really good as well. There's so many you could mention, even star players at certain football clubs. But as a two, what they offer, Ethan Hamilton could score goals, box to box. He was brilliant every time I've watched him. Was great for Accrington. Ethan Erraghan is one of the best midfielders in the division, and for me that's a fact. I think he breaks up play. He can score goals. He could do the nasty work and get assists, and he does all the hard work to let Ethan Hamilton do all the attacking side of the game and let Lincoln, be an attacking force when they're at it. So for me, as a midfield two, they're one of the best in the division. Next up, Blackpool. Now, Blackpool have a really good squad. They have a good coach in Neil Critchley. Sometimes as a manager, I question him because I think he's a good guy. I think he needs a tough number two next to him, an experienced number two. But Critchley has done a good job at Blackpool and unfortunately didn't work it out at QPR, and that's why he's back at Blackpool now. Because if it did work out, he'd still be at QPR in the Championship. I just see Blackpool missing out on the top 6 at the moment. Things that they could change to get into the top 6, a change of shape, going to 4-4-2, potentially another defender bringing in January, another striker if Jordan Rose does leave the football club, and getting Kyle Joseph fit. If those happen, if Blackpool can change to a back four like they did a couple of years ago, I think this opinion will be wrong. But as it stands, I can't see it happening. Next up, Stevenage. I don't see a drop-off happening. And by that, I think Stevenage will still finish in the top 10. Steve Evans is a good manager. Rumoured that he might be going back to Rotherham. I don't think so. I think Steve Evans will stay for the duration. Look, Steve Evans has been to a number of different football clubs, and he's very, very well liked at Stevenage. He's their father. Stevenage absolutely love him. The fans adore him. He's done so much for them, and he's done so much for them as well. And, they've done a lot for him, in that time as well. They've given respect back to his name after a difficult spell towards the end of his Gillingham career, where he did quite well, I thought. And he's got them scoring goals. They are a little bit direct, but they've got them playing some good football as well. Next up, I think another 8 managers will leave their posts from Sky Bet League One. I'm already looking at the likes of Shrewsbury, at the likes of Exeter. I know they said they're not going to change just yet. They've never sacked a manager in the last 20 plus years. That is a fact. Reading as well. That's another one that I could see potentially changing if a takeover looms. And there is a couple of others that you could potentially look. We've already had 6. Charlton, Fleetwood, Lincoln. 3 of 6 that have changed. Oxford, Liam Manning left the football club there. And you could always get a surprise package that leaves, a bit like Liam Manning did. Next up, Bristol Rovers are top 6 challenges, but they won't get into the top 6, but they'll get into the top 10. They've got a very good squad. They miss a striker. They miss a certain Johnson Clark-Harris, who they should have got, but didn't get. And it was gutting for them that they didn't. They sacked Joey Barton. Andy Mangan's still in charge. 2 wins, 1 draw, and a cup win against Whitby in the FA Cup. I think Bristol Rovers will finish in the top 10. They're strong enough, but the top 6 is so strong. I think there's 8 or 9 teams slightly better than them at the moment. Peterborough now, an opinion on them. I really think they're different. I think they get into the top 6. I think the top 2 challengers, they're built differently this year. They're a bit tougher. They're a bit meaner. They're fitter than ever. They're scoring goals like they always did. They're better away from home. They can go on unbeaten runs. They're better in difficult moments. Because in previous years, I said about Peterborough, they're really good. They're great to watch. They score goals when it goes for them. But when it goes against them and, maybe, weather conditions or they go a goal down and teams get at them, they seem to crumble at the big moments. I called them the Tottenham of League One, but this time it seems very differently. And they've taken 22 points from the last 11, only losing 1. That was away at Wigan. That game was kind of what I mentioned about Peterborough. They'd lose when you don't probably expect them to a team that you wouldn't expect them to lose. But with the likes of, your Mason Clarks, your Pokus, those types of players, attacking-wise, and you've got your Ciprianus, Burrows, Ronnie Edwards, those experienced players, good players as well, young players, a mixture of everything. I think they're built differently this season. Oxford will still finish in that top 3. We will insert the other 2 names very soon. I think they're quite obvious at this moment in time. But I don't think a drop-off will happen without Liam Manning. I think Megan Poole's actually a bigger loss to Portsmouth than Liam Manning is to Oxford. I think Oxford have got the foundations, they've got a really good team, and a manager is a dream to work with. All the good managers that want to play the same way as Liam Manning did would love to come to Oxford because it's built for them. A bit like when Manning went to MK Dons after Russell Martin left. The squad's there to kind of add to, and you've got January coming up as well. And after 16 games, you're really doing well, and you're in that kind of top 2 blend and chasing Portsmouth at the top of the division. Next up, Carlisle United will stay up. I've watched them 3 or 4 times this season, a couple of times live. I've watched them against Leyton Orient. They don't look like they're going to score a goal. That is worrying. But when they do lose, they only lose by a goal. They've lost 4 of the last 5. They won the other one against Bolton 2-1, where they came from a goal down. All the other 4 games, they lost by 1-0. They lost to 1-0 away at Portsmouth, 1-0 at home to Leyton Orient, 1-0 at home to Bristol Rovers. So they're in games, they're fighting, they keep it tight. Only 1 clean sheet in the division, which is the lowest, so they need to add to that. If you struggle to score goals, but a takeover looming as well. I think Carlisle will be just fine this season and will stay up. It won't be pretty, but they've got enough experienced players like your Gibsons, your Joe Garners, as well as adding to your younger players who are still very good. This likes of Sam Lavelle has done this before with Morecambe, and experience down with Charlton as well. I like Carlisle, they'll stay up. Next up is an opinion on Bolton. I think Bolton will win the league. And I said this after 3 games and I got called stupid. And every game they've lost since, I've had it at me. Bolton, every time they've lost a game, have bounced back. The Wigan game, bounced back. The Reading game, bounced back. The Carlisle game, well, since then, they've won 7 out of 8. They've won the last 5, kept 3 consecutive clean sheets, beating good sides, won away at Wycombe, beat Blackpool, local rivals, FA Cup final in the history against them. So much on the line at home. 25,000 in the crowd as well. It was a ridiculous number, for Sky Bet League One. Some teams in the Premier League can't master that. I just think Bolton, with the home crowd, with the depth they've got, they probably need another striker, in my eyes. But again, they've got quality, they've got good young players, got a good manager, they defend from the front. The players come off absolutely, steamrolled, absolutely knackered, as Ian Evatt said in his press conference on Saturday evening. And they are an absolute force. And if anyone beats Bolton, anyone finishes above Bolton, I think they'll win the league. And I'm looking at Oxford and Portsmouth for that. Talking to Portsmouth, Alex Robertson, in my eyes, is the most underrated player in Sky Bet League One. He's a technically good footballer, which there's so many good down here in League One, which people don't realise. As an 8, he gets the ball, he can turn on the half shoulder, bring Portsmouth forward and get them playing again. He is the link between defence and attack. As a 10, I kind of think he's a bit far up to do that, but as an 8, he can sit in, drop off, win the ball back and then get Portsmouth playing again. Again, he's going to be one of those players that look great on statistics because, he makes a lot of 5-yard, 10-yard passes, but he can also make a Hollywood ball of 30 yards and ping it out to your likes of Kamara, up to Bishop, out to Paddy Lane as well. Robertson is a fantastic player and one of the best loan signings this season in Sky Bet League One. Next up, Alfie May, in my eyes, will score 31 or more goals. Now, a couple of years ago, Johnson Clark-Harris scored 31, which is the most in recent times in Sky Bet League One. We've had a couple on 25, 26. Chaplin scored 26 last season. I think Alfie May will score 31. He's already got 12 in 15 this season. He scored 27 in this calendar year in 39 games. And has scored 55 in his last 100 games. He'd only have to score another 19 in the last 30 games of Sky Bet League One. All being well, and he doesn't get injured. And last of all, it's an opinion on Leyton Orient. I've watched them 3 or 4 times, once against Fleetwood, once away at Carlisle, a couple of times, live on TV as well. And it'll be interesting to watch the game against, Lincoln in a couple of weeks, a rearranged game as well. I think they're the only team in Sky Bet League One that I can't see getting into the top 6. But I don't see anywhere near the bottom 4. I think they're going to be bang on 60 to 65 points. 10 points off the playoffs, 10 points off the bottom 4. They'll probably be closer to the top 6. They're a good side, got goals, a really good first season. Satori, real a big fan of him. Piggott, the way he links up play, just needs to add a few more goals to his game. The likes of Galbraith have been really a big fan of. Sol Brinning, goals been excellent as well. Turns at the back, he's another good player. And, Jordan Graham out injured is a blow. But again, Leyton Orient are a real good side. Well, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you did enjoy it. Please like, please subscribe. We're on the road to 13,000 subscribers, as I mentioned before. And if you do like this sort of League One content, drop a like, drop your comments in below on what you'd like to see me produce in the next couple of weeks as well. The international break, again, has come, the 3rd one. But after this, it's full steam ahead with Sky Bet League One content. So get subscribed, get notifications on down below. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I'll see you later. Up the Sky Bet League One.